Well, actually, we know that the theory knows that in order to determine an exchange rate, you got to have something like the thing which is called purchasing power parity. And when you take, for example, a basket of goods and services and buy it in Moscow, and then you go to New York and buy the same goods and services in New York, and you try to compare those baskets, it says that, for example, in Moscow, you had to spend something like 7,000 rubles, and in New York, you spend only $100. So this is the way basically the theory of purchasing power parity works. Also, as we know, the price of any currency is determined on the markets, on the foreign exchange markets, and there are many factors behind it. For example, Russian ruble is really very sensitive to the price of oil. It is really sensitive to political events like international sanctions, Nord Stream 2 sanctions. If something happens with Nord Stream 2, it directly leads to some changes in ruble exchange value to the dollar. Also, there are people, enthusiasts, who say that the US dollar is really that Russian ruble is undervalued. Well, I think this is not true because during the years that followed after the Crimea affair, the Crimea expansion, this sort of thing, I think the number of people living behind the poverty line increased really, and the standard of living in Russia really decreased, because in order to buy something now really technologically advanced costs too much money. You got to spend too much money to buy the things that were much cheaper during the years that preceded the Crimea affair and the international sanctions. The Big Mac index is a very well, I would not say that it has completely no sense in it, but the sense is that the transnational companies are dealing in goods and services in various countries, and they, especially this kind of company, McDonald's, is trying to sell its goods through franchises, through franchisees in many countries in the world. This is not an integral company, and it does not produce only one type of Big Macs or only one type of burgers. And of course, I would agree here with you that this sort of a product is not a very standardized product to speak of. This is not oil, this is not gas, this is not gold. It's very different in many countries of the world. It varies in ingredients, and it varies in quality and other things. But The Economist magazine says that this to some extent may just explain the some cross-cultural values, cross-cultural understanding of the corporate culture behind global companies such as McDonald's and other companies. And they think that this could be at least a sort of a unofficial, unofficial measure to try to understand the policy, the monetary policy of some of the governments especially the governments that are considered to be money manipulators and currency manipulators, that are deliberately trying to devalue their currencies in order to increase their competitiveness. But of course, yeah, this is not a very a good indicator to take account of it really seriously. This is not a very serious indicator, a Big Mac index. So there are much more serious indicators, like I tried to explain about the purchasing power parity theory. This is a much more credible indicator if you're talking about some currency exchange rates. It is better to determine their exchanges by means of PPP theory. And also the market actually is the greatest thing that is doing its business very, very efficiently. And actually, I think this is the last resort in the global finance, in global markets, to determine the value of the currencies. And if the market says that ruble is 74 rubles a US dollar, I think this is the value of it, and you got to live with it, and there is no way actually to think it otherwise. So, does it answer your question, Askir?
Yes, thank you.